Welcome to our Great Lakes experience in 2024. What fun we had visiting the 4 Great Lakes. During the evening, we went through the locks between the lakes. First stop, Toronto, Canada. The guide said that it's an Iroquois name, meaning where there are trees in the water. The natives would put tree sticks in the water where the fish were during the day and then go fishing at that area at night. Toronto's population of immigrants has made it one of the most multicultural cities in the world. We enjoyed the variety of art at the Art Gallery of Ontario. Here's Don at the Henry Moore exhibit. What a treat to visit the CN Tower with its 9 elevators and 360-degree view. The clouds began to open as we walked around the top. And we noticed our ship in the distance as it prepared for us to board. Don made a friend in the gift shop. Next up, Niagara Falls. We put on our ponchos, ready for a wet ride. Moving past the first falls, we can see the wetter experience up ahead. Look at that mist. And also the skyline that's almost like Las Vegas. People put their hoods up, getting ready for a major shower. At this point, I'm about to put my phone away so it doesn't get drenched. Here we go. Next, Point Pelee Park. Point Pelee is the southernmost point of Canada. Notice how, up at the left, there's a passageway to the next lake, going past Detroit. The Viking expedition team and scientific partners shared their research with the passengers during various lectures on the ship. One morning, for example, they released a weather balloon at the same time that balloons were released around the world. This helps them track the weather around the globe. We rode one of those special op boats, while others chose to ride on the Zodiac. The waves were very choppy as we looked for birds, because this is their migration period. They made sure we all wore our life jackets. To our surprise, the Great Lakes are very much like the ocean, choppy, wavy. Time to return to the ship and get ready for Detroit. The Henry Ford Museum in Detroit is the world's foremost display of American history. Thomas Edison, the greatest inventor of our time, helped Henry Ford dedicate this site. There's Edison, and there's Ford at the dedication. That very shovel and cement are displayed as you walk into the museum. And you'll see Edison's signature in the cement. There it is. Like Edison, Ford experimented with things over and over. His mother used to say that the clock shook when Henry came home. because he was always taking them apart and putting them back together again. Henry Ford and his assistants created the moving assembly line that dramatically reduced the time it took to produce Model Ts. The gallery, with various presidential cars, brought back many memories. For example, of Ronald Reagan and Nancy, JFK and Jackie, and a day that we will all remember. Here's Eisenhower's 1950 Lincoln bubble top. J.D. Roosevelt's 1939 Lincoln that had a storage place for his wheelchair in the trunk. Teddy Roosevelt had an elegant carriage. And in 1860, the president traveled by train. The most photographed item in the museum is the 1941 Allegheny locomotive. And in 1923, the Canadian snowplow looked like this. Ford promoted his business interests through racing. There are 481 Model Js built between 1928 and 1935. No two are identical. The museum did a good job showing how people were dressed in different time periods. Ford also displayed Heroes of the Sky. Here's what a 1928 plane looked like and sounded like. There were lots of exhibits about American history, including the chair President Lincoln sat in at the theater on that fateful day. Our guide shared that Edison was sent home from school with a note from the teacher that said he was weird and too difficult to teach. His mother told him that the note said he's a genius and needed to be homeschooled. Smart mom. This is a portrait of the 50-year celebration of the invention of the light bulb. The artist had to get a portrait of each person as well as a description of what they were wearing that evening, and it took 10 years to complete. George Washington Carver was celebrated, and so was Rosa Parks. And you could even sit in the bus where she took her stand. Next up, Alpena, Michigan, where the children helped create a mural with scuba diving in it. Since there are many sunken ships in that area due to a very stormy weather. Some people went on a glass-bottom boat to see the sunken ships. Other people went to the Great Lakes Maritime Heritage Center and watched videos of the sunken ships. There are also videos of other marine sanctuaries, such as in the Florida Keys, Gray's Reef, Thunder Bay, Monterey Bay, and the Hawaiian Islands. Don enjoyed the storm experience at the Maritime Heritage Center. And now, Mackinac Island. This is what we've been waiting for. Only horse and carriages or bikes are allowed on this island. Even heavy items are moved by carriages like these. The carriages are lined up, waiting for customers. We rode in a carriage for 10 people. The flowers are in full bloom as we approach the Grand Hotel. Don thanked the carriage driver and we went inside. Some of you probably remember the movie made here with Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour. Somewhere in Time. The interior was truly elegant. And we enjoyed it. Silly us taking a selfie in a mirror. It was cold that day, that's why I'm wearing that big furry hat. The front porch had a beautiful view of the water. We enjoyed the view until it was time for lunch. Many tables were filled with salad, main courses, desserts. What a feast. From the top floor, we could see our ship waiting. So we walked back into town, and our guide told us that there are 17 fudge stores on the island. He remarked if we ate one sample from each store, which would add up to about 2 pounds, they would probably need to take us to the hospital. We got on the tether back to the ship instead. Hi to Joel and Cheryl. Last stop, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, place where 3 rivers meet. We landed near the Milwaukee Art Museum. It is designed to open and resemble a bird, and close to resemble a sailboat. The city tour emphasized beer and also Harley-Davidson. Here's what you might look like on a Harley after you've had a few beers. Some early bikes from 1911 and 1909. The sidecar showed up on Harley frames as early as 1905. Here's in 1937, the year Don was born. In 1943, Harley-Davidson received an Army-Navy E Award for excellence in wartime production. Here's a U.S. Army bike from 1945 and a 1916 U.S. mail bike We got to try sitting on a Harley. If I were only younger. Not ready to be a biker mama yet. Back to the ship for our final farewells. We enjoyed an Italian dinner with our friends Jim and Kathy. The crew said their goodbyes. So we hope you enjoyed our Great Lake adventure. Make sure you enjoy our YouTube channel. And as always, blessings and peace.